During litigation, a party may wish to introduce extrinsic evidence to prove a fact that a witness has testified to isn't true, which is known as impeachment by contradiction. Such evidence helps to undermine a witness's credibility and demonstrates that his or her testimony isn't reliable. However, because the value of such evidence may be low while the costs and dangers may be high, courts sometimes preclude it. In State v. Oswalt, the Washington Supreme Court considered whether extrinsic evidence was admissible to impeach a witness on collateral matters to a criminal prosecution, or matters that didn't relate to the principal issues in the case. On July 14, 1961, two armed men entered Frank Goodell's home in Seattle, Washington. One of the men stood guard over people that were in the home, while the other took Goodell to a nearby Tradewell Grocery Store that he owned. While in the store, the man forced Goodell to open his safe and turn over all the money inside. Subsequently, Roy Oswalt and Donald Gilman were identified as the two men involved. They were arrested and charged in state superior court with robbery and burglary. During trial, Oswalt presented his defense of alibi, that is, that he was somewhere else at the time of the offense. To prove this defense, Oswalt's attorney called August Ardis of Portland, Oregon, to the stand. On direct examination, Ardis testified that he operated a restaurant in Portland, that Oswalt was a regular patron at the restaurant, and that Oswalt was in the restaurant on the same day of the robbery and burglary. As a practical matter, Ardis's testimony meant that it would be impossible for Oswalt to be in Seattle at the time the offense occurred. Later, on cross-examination by the state, Ardis testified that Oswalt had been in the restaurant in Portland every day for the past couple of months. Following cross-examination, the state called a police detective to testify in rebuttal. Oswalt's attorney objected, but the court allowed it. The detective then testified that he talked to Oswalt in Seattle about 1 month prior to the burglary. Further, the detective testified that Oswalt told him he'd been in Seattle for a couple of days. Following trial, Oswalt was convicted of robbery and burglary. Oswalt then appealed to the Washington Supreme Court, arguing that the detective's testimony was admitted by error.